Hi YouTube, I'm Ben. This is my first video. I'm going to be showing you some card flourishes, card sleights and some basic card tricks. I'm going to be doing tutorials for them. If you like the channel, do subscribe, leave a comment. If there's anything you're unclear about in the tutorial, let me know and I will do my best to rectify it. This first tutorial that I'm going to show you today, this is called Sybil in the Rain. It's a Sybil cut that uses the chin in 5 packets. I originally learned it from Daniel Madison's DVD Dangerous, which is a very good DVD. I'd recommend buying it. I also owe my thanks to Decks and Contests on YouTube for teaching me the original Sybil cut and allowing me to develop a variation on that. Decks and Contests on YouTube, a very good tutorial for the original Sybil cut. So I'm going to be showing you my the basics of getting a Sybil cut in general, my variation on the Sybil cut, and then Sybil in the Rain as well. So that's the tutorial and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing you're going to want to know is what the Sybil in the Rain looks like. It's a 5-packet Sybil cut that uses the chin. It looks a little bit like this. Okay, so that's my own slight swing on it, but it's more or less the original Daniel Madison version. Now, to do this, you're going to need several stages, and I'll talk you through the several stages. At each stage, you will need to practice, and you'll need to practice quite a lot. And don't worry, the first few times that you do this, you're going to be dropping a lot of cards. My recommendation for practicing, incidentally, would be to do either what I'm doing here. I've got a recliner sofa, and I've got the recliner legs out, but I've got my legs either side of it, so that when the cards are dropped, they're right there and you can just pick them up. The alternative, I mean this is good for me because my legs will go funny otherwise. If you've got the legs to handle it, you can sit on a bed and do it. The bed is also a good one for when you're practicing the spring, which we'll get to in due course. But yes, somewhere where you're not having to constantly stoop down and pick up the cards. I will also say at this point, the way I shuffle and the way I deal with cards, I do everything backwards. So most tutorials that you'll see online, I've actually had to learn. I've had to watch them and then learn them the other way, because most people tend to do cards the other way around. So when I'm referring to the right hand and the left hand, odds are you're probably going to have to switch them around yourself. For any of you who do deal cards the same way as me, fantastic. Otherwise, I would just automatically switch them over for you, but as soon as I do that, I'm going to miss one. I'm just going to throw the whole thing out of proportion. So I'm just going to refer to the hands that I'm using, and then if you need to switch over, just switch them over. Okay. So, the first thing you're going to need to learn is the basic Z position. Now, I've got 2 cameras and hopefully you'll be able to see on at least one of them what's going on. So the basic Z position is the sort of the foundation of the whole Sybil cut. And it looks a bit like this. You have to get your deck into 4 packets. So you start off with the deck in your right hand, index finger at the top, 3, 4, 5 down the side, and thumb on the other side. Okay? Hopefully you can see that just there. The first Z position, you take your left hand and you have your 4th and 3rd finger around the index finger on the top, 2 and 5 out the other side, so it's a bit like the sort of the rock-on sign, except the other way around. 4 and 3 are up there, 2 and 5 extended like you're rocking on, and your thumb comes down to the bottom and acts as a focal point for picking up the cards. That's what it would look like, just there. Okay. So with the hand around it, looks like that. So to get this first break, you lift up the deck, simple as that. So you're supporting the top half of the deck with the thumb of your left hand and the rest of the deck. And you don't need that many cards left at the bottom. You want to take a big chunk up there, so you've only got 10 or so cards left at the bottom. Okay. The reason for that will become clear in just a moment. From there, once you've got that first pivot, you're going to pivot around the 2nd finger, the index finger of your right hand, pivot up so you've got this Z position. And from there, you can just pivot off a few more. Now, at this point, and that's again with the index finger of your left hand, you pivot off, so you've got that top packet. At this point, you've got this very thick packet at the top, and again, the reason for that will become clear a bit later on. You're going to take more cards from it. So you want fairly thin packets and then quite a thick packet at the top. So that is the Z position, or the sometimes called the S position. And you need to just be able to get that to that as quickly as you can. So that's the first step you really need to practice, is going bosh, bosh, bosh. And in 3 positions, straight away, you've got that. So from there, bang, bang, bang. If you can do it all in one go, brilliant, but that will come with time. But that is basically the first position you need to be in to get to the Sybil cut, to get to there. So practice that, and when you can do that, come back and see the rest. I would recommend, if you want to watch the whole tutorial, you're more than welcome to do that, but I would certainly suggest practicing it in stages and then developing from there, because I will go and show every stage in as much detail as I can. So, once we've got into that basic Z position, we need to start the transversing of the packet. So I'm going to label the packet starting over here. This is packet 1. This one pivoting here is packet 2, and then obviously 3 and 4, the next two over. Okay. So first of all, packet 1, you're going to drop and lock into the crotch of your thumb right there. That packet doesn't actually do anything for the rest of the flourish, so it can just sit there out of the way. My advice when you first start practicing this is actually, once you get to Z position, is to just drop packet 1, because it doesn't do anything and it just sort of slightly complicates it. It gives you one less thing to think about when you're practicing it, but you don't really need to think about it once it's there, so just practice it without. So from there, you see this packet number 2 pivots up around the thumb of the left hand. What you need to do is pivot that up towards your body, just like that, and from there, your right hand can come over and with your first and third fingers can pick up the edge of packet number 3. Okay, so packet number 2 comes up, fingers 1 and 3 come down, grip the end of packet number 3. That takes the grip of that, and what you can do then is with the thumb of your left hand is push packet number 2 upwards and higher around that finger. So basically packet number 2 moves twice. It moves once there, where you move it up, after that's locked into the crotch of the thumb there, that moves up, and then you grab packet number 1 and 3. Packet number 1 and 3 doesn't actually move at this point, you're just securing it with the right hand so that packet number 2 can move up. Now, once packet number 2 is up, you're going to bring it back down, but on the other side of packet number 3. Okay? So what that would look like in slow motion, packet number 2 comes up, packet number 2 comes up again, and then drops back down on the other side of packet number 3. So packets number 2 and 3 have now effectively swapped places. So practice that. That's going to be one that you're going to really need to get to, getting that first swapping in place there. So 4 packets, packet 2 comes up, packet 2 comes up again, and then drops down on the other side of packet 3. Alright, so you're now in this position. Once you get to this position, this is where it gets a little trickier. Okay, so do, again, be patient with this, practice it, and it will come, I promise. So, 4 packets, packet number 2 swivels behind packet number 3. What you'll notice is that packet number 3 now naturally wants to stick out. You'll see it really does just sort of stick out because of where the hands are laid out. That's a good thing, okay? You see it sticking out there, because while it's sticking out, the left hand is going to come across, and with your pinky and your middle finger of your left hand, you're going to grip the end of that packet number 3 with those hands. Now that is an awkward grip, and it's probably not a grip you're going to have come across before in any way, shape or form. It's an awkward grip, and effectively it's that, okay? So often a good idea if you want to practice it is just sort of sit with that in that grip until that becomes comfortable, because that is not a comfortable grip. But so if you can just sit there and just shake your hand about, that will start to become more comfortable, and it will also strengthen up the fingers, that gap there. Okay, so coming over and then grabbing that packet number 3 with fingers 5 and 3. All right. Now at this point, a couple of things happen at the same time. This is the first time you've got 2 packets moving at the same time. The first thing that happens is that with the index finger of your right hand, you're going to pull back packet number 2 around your thumb, around the thumb of the left hand. So that sort of pivots back and down around there. While at the same time, packet number 3 comes up there. So you end up with this rather nice looking formation at this point. Okay, let's show you that again. 4 packets, packet 2 and 3 swap places. Packet 3 is gripped by fingers 5 and 3. 5 and 3, bring that out while bringing out packet 2 around the thumb, so you get this. Okay. Once you get to that position, that's the hardest part over. There and out. I would say certainly of the basic Sybil, that's the hardest part over at that point. Okay, so just practice that. That would be sort of the next stage to get to there. Once you're there, Get it really, really clean and comfortable. Don't worry about speed. Speed does come naturally anyway. The more you start doing, the more you do it, and eventually you'll get to that stage where they're just sort of whizzing around really, really fast, okay? But speed is not important at this stage. You want smooth. Smooth rather than speed. Because actually you'll notice, if you do it very jerkily, you can do it as fast as you like, but it doesn't look very good. Okay, it looks like a bad cartoon. If you do it slowly, but very, very smoothly, it can still look very, very nice. Okay, so don't worry about speed. If you want to speed it up, you can do that in the future, and that will come naturally. So, you've got to the packets outstretched. Now at this point, this is where my own variation comes in, and there are a lot of ways. That's basically the Sybil cut over, and there are a lot of different things you can do at this point. That's also the crux point for where the Sybil in the rain comes in, which we'll come to in a little while. If you want to end the Sybil there, this is what I do. I get round to that point. Now, this packet that is in between 1 and 2, you've got the packet over here between 5 and 3, and then the packet in between the thumb and the index finger of the left hand. I pivot this packet here back around so that 1 and 3, the thumb and the middle finger of the right hand, can come over and grab that there. Okay? And then what you do, the packet that's at the top, you'll see this packet at the top right here, that pivots out and around the index finger of the right hand. Okay? So, up to there, coming over, grab that packet, and then pivot around this packet, index finger of the right hand, and I normally stick that packet behind the one that's in 5-3 and just balance it between the thumb and the pinky right there. So you've got that. And over here you've got this. Should be in the crotch of your thumb right there. Now, at this point, what I do, I charlier with the right hand. If you don't know how to do a charlier cut, it's from that position, it's very, very easy actually. There are a few tutorials on YouTube, but basically push that up with your index finger and then push it back down. Rather than complete the cut, I always catch a break with my pinky. Okay, the reason for that I'll show you in a moment. At that point, you drop down the packet that's behind, like this, throw that on top, and then pass the whole thing at the break. The reason you do that is it keeps the deck in the order. Okay, if you're not worried about keeping the deck in order, you can, by all means, just do that, and you don't need to do the pass, it changes the order. If you've got the 2 of diamonds on the top though, you go around to there, take it up, put it around the back there, charlier, catch the break, drop the top packet first, bottom packet, and pass. 2 of diamonds stays on top. Now, just a little aesthetical thing this is really. There's nothing that says that packet can't go in front of that one, and then when you do that, it would just go drop, drop. I think it just looks slightly nicer if you go and put it behind, charlier, and then it sort of falls out. It also gives a slightly better impression of it actually being shuffled. If you actually stick it behind there and you do that. Okay? Let's finish it with a spring and say the 2 of diamonds stays on the top. Again, that's entirely up to you how you want to do that, but that's the way I do it. So, to run down the whole thing, and again, there's lots of stages that you're going to need to work through to get this right, and it will take some time. But here's your stages. First thing you want to do, get the grip right. Make sure you've got that grip solid and you're completely happy with the grip. Next thing, getting into Z position. Okay, so that's those 4 packets there, and just being able to get there like that will be really useful if you can do that. Okay, so we pivot, we grab. We pivot, they swap. You grab with 5 and 3. You pivot under and back. Grab this packet over here with 3 and 1. Pivot, put behind, charlier, catch the break. Top packet goes down first, so it slides off there. That one gets dropped and pass, and you keep the order. Okay, so at speed, it looks like this, and it looks like a really good sort of fun shuffling, as you know, as far as they're concerned. If you've just done a trick where you've controlled the card to the top, say you've got the that one right there, the 6 of diamonds, goes back in. I mean, I was just in my standard one. Goes back into the deck like that. Make sure you remember the card. You do your pass. You get it to the top. It's already there. And then say, right, I'm going to give it a shuffle. If it is just a top card that you're concerned about, you can do a number of false ripple shuffles, retaining the top card. You can do a false overhand, take it to the bottom, back to the top. And then if you do this one just to cap it off, it really looks like you're completely messing up the order of the deck. And it comes back to the top, like that. Okay, so just a few ideas of utilisation for it. That's the basic Sybil cut that I do that keeps the deck in the order that it's in. So practice that. Once you can do that, you want to start thinking about Sybil in the Rain, which we'll have a look at in just a moment. Okay, so hopefully by now we're at this point of being able to do the Sybil cut. And I can't tell you how important it is that you really do practice that, because the moves that you learn in Sybil in the Rain are very, very similar to the ones you've already learned. And these moves need to be second nature. You need to be able to do these in your sleep. And that will take a little bit of time for you to get there. So don't worry about it and do keep practicing. Let me show you Sybil in the Rain. Sybil in the Rain is more or less the same, but you've got the chin involved. Okay, so you got the fifth packet. It balances up there, and you carry on the Sybil cut around it, and then there's a little extravagance at the end there. So let me show you how to do that. You get to this point in the basic Sybil, where you've got your cards outstretched like that. Okay. Now at this point you'd normally come back around, stick that one behind. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do, once you get to here, rather than taking this whole packet here, you're going to take maybe half of it, okay? Just take a few cards off there. Now that in itself will take a little bit of time to get right. That's probably the bit I struggle to get to the most. Because it's gripped in a funny place on the index finger of your left hand, it makes it kind of difficult to pivot cards out. So just practice doing that and getting to that fifth packet, okay? Now that will take a little bit of time. So get round to here, take out the fifth packet. Now, as that fifth packet comes out, you pivot it back around to there. Now as that comes up to there, this packet here that's in between 5 and 3, here represented by the 7 of spades, that comes up in the middle, in between those two packs, onto the thumb, and is then reclaimed by the third finger of the left hand. Now that's the packet that's going to go up to the chin, okay? And it goes up there. I normally balance it just before my beard line, right about there, and then tilt it forward slightly. Okay? So once you get to that point, it just comes up there and tilts forward. Right? So you've next got, let's just do that again. You come around to here, grab yourself half of the cards that are there, push this packet, this time with the 4 of spades, up in between the two, pivot it around the thumb with the third finger, and balance it on the chin. Alright? Now that will take some time to get that right and find the right spot for you. Everyone's got a different shaped face, different facial characteristics, so just take a little bit of time to find out what balance works best for you. As I say, sometimes you balance it, if you get it not quite straight, then it will start to fall down. Do expect that, and don't get disheartened if it doesn't balance on the chin straight away. It does take a little bit of time to find the sweet spot, as it were, okay, and just keep it balanced just there, right? So from that point, it becomes more or less a basic Sybil. This packet that's over here, in between 1 and 3 of the right hand, that's going to be taken by 5 and 3 of the left hand, just like before, taken around there. And then this packet here that's represented by the 9 of spades or the 8 of spades, whichever 8 of spades I think it is, that you're going to grab with 1 and 3 of the right hand. So you're going to come over and then pivot it down. So it's over there now. Okay. Now, once that gets back around to that point, that packet can just land on top of the one that's in the crotch of your thumb over there. That's no longer needed, so you're back to 4 packets, right? Now, the left hand, which is currently holding the 6 of diamonds with 5 and 3, that comes back up and reclaims the one on the chin. With the index finger, make sure the 6 of diamonds goes this side of it, so you sort of fold it in there, okay? And that comes back down and off the chin. Now, the right hand is going to pivot this packet here, the one with the Queen of Spades on it. It's going to pivot that up again, like right at the beginning of the trick, and you're going to grab the 3 of diamonds with the thumb and the third finger there. Okay, and just like with the normal Sybil, that comes back around. Now, Here's where it gets slightly different. Once you've got to this point, the packet with the Queen of Spades on it is going to do something different. The 3 of Diamonds goes, like the other one, back on top there, so you're now down to 3 packets. Right? Now the Queen of Spades does this. It's got this rotation move to balance it on the back of that hand, which you then throw up and drop the ending on. Now to do that, you need a little bit of momentum, and that is a tricky move to get. And you don't have to do it, as I've already mentioned. This isn't gospel that you have to do the Sybil cut in this way. But to do it, you just grab it with the 3rd finger of the right hand and just lay it down. Again, let me show you that. It's kind of difficult to show it in slow motion because you do need the momentum of the cards to get it right. Now see here, I'm struggling to get it on the chin. The packet's slightly too fat, so you want a slightly thinner packet, but you want at least 6 or 7 cards there to get it right. That one comes around, that one comes there, this one comes back down, and I've done that wrong. Okay? Don't worry, that will happen. So, 5th packet, up there, onto the chin, grab that, and that one comes back down to rest there. Right, that comes back off the chin, grab that one there. Now as it comes around, watch carefully, you're going to pivot and then grab with the 3rd finger to balance. And then finish. I'll show you that once more. So we get to this point, pivot that packet off, that one comes up, balances on the chin, continue the Sybil movement, that lands there, collect the chin packet, do another Sybil move, and then this one with the 3 of Spades, pivots over the top of the index finger, you grab it with the middle finger and just put it to rest on the left hand. Throw it up, catch it, and drop. Now, unlike the first Sybil I showed you, this is not a controlled cut. Okay, so in this case with the 5 of Diamonds on the top, if you do a Sybil in the rain and you're trying to control the card, you're going to notice that it doesn't stay where it's meant to. Right? It is, if you wanted to try and come up with your own adaptation of it, you can do. The 5 of Diamonds at this point, I think, is the first one to go back down there. The Joker, sorry. Yeah, so that's the one. And if you want to try and find your own adaptation to get around that, by all means do so. But that is Sybil in the Rain. If you've got any questions, if there is anything not clear, hopefully I've got the 2 cameras going. Hopefully you'll be able to see everything that you need to within those 2 cameras. But if you need anything clarifying, send me a message or write a comment, and I'll do my best to clear that up. As I said, this isn't the gospel truth. This isn't the only way to do a Sybil cut. It's the way I've learned to do Sybil in the Rain. But from the original one that I learned from decks and contests, I've adapted it slightly to my own sort of ends with the Charlier and the pass. So feel free to adapt it how you like and take what you need. But say the basic moves of it are that. And once you can do that, it's pretty much open to you how you want to interpret it. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you've learned something. As I say, send me a message, leave me a comment if there's anything you want clarifying. And I hope to see you back here for my next tutorial. I've been Ben. I will see you again.